One look at the market shows you that things have been pretty volatile. So the goal for the video today is to talk about how we can use options to decrease risk. This is kind of funny because most people just think about options and YOLOing / throwing all your money away. But realistically, a primary purpose of options is to hedge. It's just typically overlooked, and it's for, it's not as fun as YOLO. But if you want to stay in the business of trading long-term, risk management actually becomes pretty important. You'll find that out soon enough. Now, before we get too far, as you know, this is all for educational purposes only. I create content with Barchart simply to share information. So let's do exactly that. Let's start first by talking about a few of the primary methods that we can reduce risk in a portfolio with options. Then I'm going to give you some very specific scenarios and some calculations you can do on your own to make better informed decisions about how you're managing your portfolio risk. And you can see how options may or may not fit into the equation for you. So the first thing we have is portfolio level hedging. Then we have the fact that options provide highly customizable risk profiles, which we'll talk about. And then the other key element is that you can diversify the kind of trades that you have on really well. And let's start first with portfolio level hedging. We're going to go into specific examples for all of these, but I want to overview them with you first. So with portfolio level hedging, what you can do specifically with something like options is you can beta weight your deltas against a known index like SPY, and I'll literally show you exactly how to do that in a little bit. And then you can measure your risk there, and you can use that as a starting point. Now, this isn't specific to options, by the way. This is just laying the foundation. Now, this next part is specific to options, which is pure position hedging. You cannot do that without options. And what this means is if I'm holding shares of a stock like Apple, and let's say that you see that it's been doing not super great over the last year, and you still want to keep your stock position, but you don't want to have this pretty significant unrealized loss along the way. So you decide to hedge your positions. Well, one of the cool things you can do is literally go into the options chain itself, and you can find a duration that you want your hedge to exist for, which is another really important point. And you can do something like buy a put. Now, this is typically expensive, and it's not something that generally bears out to always maintain a hedge. A really important artifact of being a retail trader is if you get too scared of taking risk and you try to hedge everything away, you've also just hedged away all your profit potential. So you have to find a balance, which we're going to talk about, but this is a pure hedge. Whereas if we use something like the beta weighted deltas, it's a little bit different, and you'll see why in a little bit. Options grant you this exact capacity. Now, the way that this position would work is, let's say that we have at least 100 shares of Apple, maybe more, and we say, well, I don't want my shares to go below 180 bucks. Well, what you can do is you can buy the 180 put. And what that does is gives you, as the option holder, the right to sell your shares to somebody for 180. Now, you don't have to do that. It's always your choice. But you can always also just literally settle the option without moving your shares. So let's say Apple goes down. Your put value is going to go up. You don't have to get rid of your shares at that price if you don't want to. You could always just sell the put for a profit and keep your shares. And it's still gonna be down in the near term, but it's a way to offset some of the risk in your portfolio. And as I mentioned, it is a pure hedge, very different than a lot of others. Next, we have this concept of being able to create customized risk profiles. And we'll double click into this in a few moments. But when you're trading stock, you essentially have one thing going on, and you're trading deltas. You're trading directional movements, and you're always going to have a delta of 1 for each share that you have. So that's pretty much it. And if the stock goes sideways, you don't inherently make money unless you're collecting a dividend. And if the stock goes down, if you're long shares, you lose money. And if you short shares, you can make money again on a delta 1 basis. However, there's a cost to carry that position. So there's a lot of nuance. However, with options, not only do you get the capacity to structure these trades in very specific ways so that they move differently, which again, you'll see, but it gives you a really important ability to diversify your trades. And just so you can see the bubble, in case you want to see the bubble, I'll move myself over here. And what this means is, again, as I just explained, if you're holding stock, you essentially can make money if it goes up or if it pays you a dividend or if there's a buyback, which manifests as stock price goes up. Or you can make money if the stock goes down if you sell shares. It's kind of it. With options, you open up the door to a lot of other things. You can trade directionally, up, down, even, sideways. You can trade volatility, which is an entire beast unto itself. And you can also do a ton of other things like pairs trade. You can hedge specific positions or your portfolio. There's a lot of other activities you can do. So let's take a look inside of this portfolio hedging idea. Here I have a model portfolio and each of those little triangles represents a position. This is 2-position portfolio. Not really a whole lot going on here. However, if you're a trader and you're putting on more and more positions, what happens is all of these positions can then be weighted against something like SPY to give you an output on your beta weighted deltas. And it gives you a really important insight into the risk you have on at any given point in time, and if that reflects the correct risk for you. Now, we will go into an example in a second on how to actually calculate this and what this ultimately means for you. But again, this is not option specific. This is available to everybody. And it's a really important process actually to understand how to do this because it gives you a couple different key pieces of information, which again, we will double click into in a second. Now, if we talk about options, we know that in options, they definitely provide leverage if you want it. They can be defined risk or undefined risk trades, which is an important artifact because if you build a portfolio, you can put different kinds of risk profiles into your portfolio based on how you feel about the market. So let's say, for example, the market's really volatile right now. Maybe you're stepping a little bit away from your undefined risk book. You're not selling as many naked short calls or naked short puts because the market just kind of goes haywire depending on what tweet comes out. So you just start spreading off your risk. You can't do that if you hold stock. So that is a key difference here. So the other thing you can do is build positions that behave very differently than if we look at something like long stock, which again always has a delta of 1. And let me give you an example. If we go back into this Apple trade, and let's say that we think it's going to go down, just throwing a direction out there, it doesn't really matter. I just want to use it for the example here. And we think it's going to go down, so we want to speculate in Apple to the downside. We're going to buy a put in this scenario. Well, what you can do is take a look based on your analysis, how severe you think the move might be. You can select a put that has a different delta that's going to move differently than if you have the stock equivalent. So here's an example of this. If I choose to buy this 200 put and Apple goes down by $1, this position is going to lose 38 cents or $38. It'll make $38 if it goes down. So you might say to yourself, well, wait, if Apple goes down $1 and this only moves $39, that kind of sucks because if you held 100 shares, you would have made $100 versus 38. Well, there's a cool element built into this. That is, 1, this is cheaper to hold than those 100 shares. 2, if Apple instead goes up. Well, if Apple goes up, you only lose $39 if it goes up by $1 in this scenario. If you held those shares, you lose $100. So you can use this as a way to dampen your risk for directional speculation, again, depending on what your objectives are. And this is really all structured through the Greeks. Now, diversified trades, really, really important concept. Let's say we go back into that portfolio of defined and undefined risk trades. We have stuff that is built that is really designed to take advantage of really big up moves. So maybe this is a shorter duration, out of the money long call. And then we have something that's a little bit more moderate. Maybe after earnings, a big oil company is trending kind of sideways. You think it might drift up, so you sell some puts in there. And let's say we're going through earnings season right now. So you're trading earnings releases, which is completely not correlated to the rest of this stuff. And you're trading this as its own market effect. Then we also add some downside plays, maybe via short calls, long puts, whatever you want. The point that I'm making is you can construct a portfolio that makes money in a bunch of different ways, which again is very different than holding a stock portfolio. So now, as promised, I want to go back in time and I want to take a look at this beta weighted delta concept for you. So let's go over to Google Sheets and let's take a look at this scenario. I literally just built this, but what I'm showing you is we have a 3-position portfolio. Your first position has a delta, total deltas of 494. And you literally can figure out what your total deltas are simply by taking the delta of your current position, multiplying it by 100, multiplying it by the number of lots you have. So again, going back to Apple, this has 38 deltas, 0.38. So we would multiply that first by 100, you get 38 deltas, and then you multiply it by the number of lots that you have. That's how you create whatever your total delta is for your position. Beta represents the sensitivity against the S&P 500. You can get this from a few different places. This gives you an idea of how much whatever underlying it is that you trade moves when measured against whatever you're beta weighting against. And most platforms will give you a beta weighting against the S&P 500 because that's what a lot of people measure against. So all we do then is we take our delta multiplied by our beta, and it gives you your beta weighted deltas. What this tells you is that this individual position here, whatever this is behaving as if it were 513.76 shares of the S&P 500 SPY index ETF. That's what this shows you. We do the same for position 2, for position 3, and then we end up with a total amount of your SPY beta weighted deltas. All we're doing is summing the beta weighted deltas from each individual position, and you get your SPY beta weighted deltas. So what this tells you is once you input the current price of SPY, you can calculate the total risk in terms of SPY beta weighted deltas that your portfolio has. So we're saying that this portfolio of these different positions represents 1139, call it 1140 SPY deltas, which represents a total risk of $646,000. So one of the first things you could do is say, is that too much? Is that not enough? Well, it depends on the size of your portfolio. But the next thing we could do is model. We can say, okay, based on this risk, what happens if SPY goes up by 1%? Well, if it goes up 1%, your portfolio will make 6460. If it goes down 1%, your portfolio will lose 6460. Now, an important point. If these are options trades, they're all going to move a lot because of delta, gamma, theta, vega, rho. All of those different things will change how this actually behaves. So this is an approximation. It is not going to be exactly what's reflected, especially if these are options positions, because they're going to move. If you want to do this for options positions, you have to add a couple other things. You can add things like gamma, theta, vega, and you literally can model this same exact thing out with that level of detail. It's not difficult. So then let's say if SPY moves by 5%, well, now you're plus or minus 32K. Is that a lot? Is that not a lot? Again, it depends on what risk you want to have on. But if you look at this and you say, whoa, that's way too much, then you might say, well, I can start closing some of these positions out, or I can pursue a portfolio level hedge. So let's say I want to hedge the portfolio 25%. It's going to take off $161,000 of risk. Now we know exactly how many SPY deltas we have to hedge in order to reduce this risk. So we need to lose 285 deltas. How might we do that? Again, we can buy puts, we can sell calls in SPY directly. You can trade the volatility index, But the main point here is you can take a really tactical look at your overall risk. You can measure it out to be what you want, and then you can go build it in your portfolio, especially if you're using things like options, because again, maybe you don't want to sell calls against SPY. Well, maybe you can sell wide call spreads instead. And you can have very, very specific risk profiles based on what you want. So this is just a brief look inside how you can use options to reduce risk in a portfolio. As always, if you have any questions, throw them in the comments below. Be an outlier. We'll see y'all later.